Welcome to the garage area. We are after Watkins Glen, where Buescher out-duels SVG on a final overtime restart to claim his first win of 2024. We'll do a quick review and go through the talking points of this weekend. Here we are to do a quick recap. Of course, lap 1, Corey LaJoie gets into Kyle Busch and all insanity ensues, collecting Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, the two biggest names involved in this. Blaney obviously out of the race. Some controversy there we can go over later. Hamlin does get his car back together to make laps. Next restart, Allmendinger breaks the axle or rear end, eliminating him out of the race. Martin Truex Jr. wins stage 1 as the playoff drivers stay out, take stage points while others come and pit, including SVG and Ross Chastain, who had been dominating the race up to that point. Stage 2, Ross Chastain and SVG again dominating stage 2. Ross Chastain wins the stage. Obviously, SVG second. They were planning on coming to pit road, but caution came out. They couldn't make it to pit road in time. I believe that was for Suarez. I believe he actually had a tire coming off from a pit stop, so he got stuck in the sand trap when that came apart. Instead, it ended up kind of working out for them. They just stayed out up front. The tires did not mean as much as they thought it should, until it was like the very end of their run. So they came pitted when they could make it to the end. After the stages, Logano, Keselowski, and Hamlin 3 wide. Hamlin got turned into the wall, wrecking his car more. He comes back to finish 23rd. He kind of just had a miserable day. Christopher Bell, he was also involved in a turn 1 wreck, spun out again. SVG and Chastain stretching it on fuel. Chris Buescher had a 4-second lead at the time when caution came out for Harrison Burton's flat tire coming apart on the track. Multiple green-white checkers after that. Restarts, I should say, not just one overtime green-white checkered, but we had a wreck with the 6 and 24. 24 was pretty much in the passenger side, or in the driver's side window of the 6 car, Keselowski. That was a pretty interesting wreck. They both, I believe, continued after that. SVG, final overtime restart. SVG pushes Buescher in turn 1, takes the lead. White flag, Chris Buescher runs him down in the S's, and SVG messes up the inner loop, and Chris nudges him through the carousel and takes the lead and runs away with the win. His first win of 2024, we already mentioned in the intro. And the interesting fact here is there's 5 non-playoff drivers in the top 5 this race, which is kind of not unexpected because the way guys may have chased stage points and stuff. So that's a race recap of the race. Now we'll go into kind of talking about some talking points and what went on. All right, there's a couple of main talking points I want to get to. Ryan Blaney, he didn't look like he hit anything too hard when he ran into the 6 during that pileup on lap 1. He just lost his steering, so kind of want to get into how that played out and stuff. NASCAR took his car straight to the garage, didn't allow any even look to repair. Obviously it probably wouldn't have been repairable in the 7 minutes, but they towed him. I really believe that they should at least get a chance to the pit box. I know it might take a little more time to pick them back up if they can't go, but all their cars that are wrecked to get flat tires, they obviously have wreck damage, and they just allow them to change tires. So I don't see why you couldn't drag him to his pit box and unhook him real quick. I mean, they feel like they need a quicker process of hooking these cars up anyways. It feels like it takes them a year to do it, but that's kind of where he's upset. That probably put him a pretty good hit in the playoffs. We can check on that later. Obviously, stage 1, everyone all the playoff drivers pretty much stay out, chase the stage points, especially those further back in the standings. So Martin Truex Jr., who obviously was 20 points out coming in, so he needed the points, and Hamlin gets back on the lead lap at that point with a crippled car, I guess you would say. The one thing that they were playing out was they were talking about tire wear. They were supposed to be like a 4-second fall off over 20 laps, and that happened during testing with 6 cars, and we didn't see that play out because at the end when let's say SVG and Chastain, they got caught up and not able to flip the stage like they had planned. They pretty much led until like the very end of their tire life. And the tires fell off right there, then they pitted, and they were back on strategy again. So I just feel like the tires didn't mean as much. It's still hard to pass with these cars and the aero and stuff on these short tracks and road courses and whatnot. So I believe there's still more work to be done there. I think it's a lot more of the car than it is the tire anymore. The tires, I believe, did help some. There was some discrepancy, but it took so long for it to work that I don't think it was really worth anything. So I feel like that's all I got for this race. I don't know what, I'm probably forgetting something right now. So we can look at the playoff standings. Of course, Joey Logano obviously moves on. No one else moves on because the non-playoff driver won the race. So the playoff line now is Martin Truex Jr. still below 14. He gained 6 points. Brad's down -6, and Hamlin's he was up +2. He's now -6. I believe he can make that up at Bristol, run top 10, gain stage points. Chase Briscoe, he probably runs decent at Bristol, but I don't see him outdoing Denny Hamlin. I just feel like that Denny's got this race set. I shouldn't say set, but I believe he'll be a top 5 car no matter what. So, Ty Gibbs +6, Chase Briscoe +6, William Byron 25 plus. Anyone him and up, I think, would have a disastrous day to fall out, which can happen at Bristol. You can get taken out pretty easily, similar to what happened here at Watkins Glen, where they all piled up in the first turn. That'll be interesting to watch. So obviously Joe Logano's already moved on. Christopher Bell, he's +46. Kind of interesting here. I pretty much had Austin Cindric and Alex Bowman and Daniel Suarez out round 1, and they're in the top 5 of the standings right now. So I think the Atlanta played very well to those 3 drivers. Alex Bowman ran up front a lot today too, or Sunday at the Glen. So maybe that team's found something. They're being more performative now. As a Hendrick fan, I hope so. I always root for the Hendrick drivers. Kyle Larson, after his disaster at Atlanta, he's up to +26. I think he gained a few points on the line. He didn't have a very good run today. He didn't get caught up in the wrecks, but he did get beat and banged around. I think he had a couple of issues, but of course, William Byron, after that, him climbing over top of Brad Keselowski, he is still +25. I believe he lost ground after last week, so but still +25. I think top 20 will be plenty to get you through. I see all these guys being top 15. Chase Briscoe and Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs, I see running pretty quickly too. So I really believe it's Chase Briscoe that's got to perform to keep Hamlin below that line. So it'll be interesting to watch that bubble as it goes. So our picks between Adam and I. Adam, I kind of forgot who Adam picked now. Adam picked Kyle Larson. I picked SVG. Larson. Let's see here. Larson finished 12th, which is higher than he had been running all day. He qualified bad and just kind of ran around the back because it was hard to pass. So through carnage and wreckage, I guess you'd say, he finished 12th. And I picked SVG. Of course, he was one inner loop away from getting the win and got taken away from Chris Buescher. That was a good battle there at the end. So that's that. Go back to my notes here. Xfinity Series, dominated by Connor Zillich. He wins his first ever start in the Xfinity Series. Road courses, he looks untouchable. I mean, SVG and Allmendinger, who you think of would be good at the road courses there. Their cars just didn't seem to be good today. I think both of them complained about their cars. SVG claimed that he didn't have the power that he needed to get through the corners. He still got a top 5, I believe. So yeah, he finished 5th. So even with the whimpering car, he finished top 5. But Zillich won stage 1 by like 11 seconds. Of course, a couple guys pitted, but he came back, and since he didn't flip the stage, he had to come from the back. He finished top 5 from being like from outside the top 15, finished top 5 again. Of course, he flipped. I don't remember what happened. I think he flipped the stage again, or flipped the stage and got some of that track position back that he lost in the first stage. But it was interesting. About 30 to go, which is about the start of the fuel issue. Just outside, it would have been probably 35 to go. Caution comes out. I don't remember exactly what it was for. It may have been to Bettadeno. No, that was a later one. May have been another wreck or incident. That interesting thing that happened is under caution, they hadn't caught the pace car yet, so I believe the 19 was leading, Sam Mayer, then Zillich was 3rd. For some reason, they all cut the inner loop. And Custer in 4th went through the inner loop like you're supposed to do. I don't know. Zillich claimed that he just followed the other two. I don't know what the other two were thinking, Mayer and Gibbs. So them three got sent to the back, and that was they decided to make their last pit stop there. Other drivers figured they couldn't make it from there. So Zillich, Gibbs, and Mayer, they all made their pit stops. Had to save a few laps of fuel in the process. And Zillich saving fuel was going quicker yet somehow. They had a couple overtime restarts, and he still had plenty enough gas to do burnout, so that was impressive. One of those overtime cautions was brought out by Gibbs, who ran out of fuel. So they pitted at the same time as Zillich. Sheldon Creed finished 2nd for the 12th time in his Xfinity Series career, so I gotta believe he's got to get one of these days. I don't know how it's gonna turn out. I believe he's going to not Stewart Haas, but a Haas factory team. So I'll to see how he performs when he gets over there. Hopefully he gets. I would assume he'd got a win in these Gibbs car, but he's knocking on that door. So you can look at their playoff picture. They still have one race before the playoffs, so the regular season championship looks like it's going to be Allgaier to lose. He's up 4-3 over Cole Custer, which is interesting in that Allgaier for the second week in a row took out Custer on the outside of turn 1 on that restart, and then Allgaier got spun out in the inner loop in that same lap. So them two are in a fierce battle. I'm surprised I didn't hear more about that. I could have seen Custer being upset at Allgaier over that, but I haven't heard anything, so maybe that just is what it is. Let's see, the cut line, Ryan Sieg is minus 43. I see it's a must-win for anybody else to get in. Sammy Smith, he'd have to finish dead last, and Sieg win the race just about to have any chance at it. So I almost see it set as it is unless there's an upset win. So that's them for the Xfinity Series. The Truck Series are back, so we're going to look at their playoffs here. Christian Eckes is up 60. They have 2 races left in the round, so On the bubble, Roger Caruth and Ben Rhodes are -2 and 4. Grant Anfigures +2, Daniel Dye +9, Tyler Ankrum +13. So along with Taylor Gray +13. So that's I think that's still 2 races to go. Bristol and I believe Kansas are there for this round, so that could be made up for any of those drivers down at the bottom. So it's the tight battle there yet. The only news thing I got is Nick Sanchez is going to drive the 48 for Big Machine Racing. Parker Kligerman announced his full-time retirement, I guess you would say. Announced he's retiring from full-time racing. He's probably going to be more full-time in the booth or working with, we believe works with NBC and stuff with the racing. So maybe it's Fox. I'm kind of lost on all the network deals and stuff going on, who's working for who anymore. So that's about the only news I got there. Next week's schedule is Bristol for all 3 series. Trucks run Thursday, 8 o'clock, and Xfinity is Friday, and the Cup Saturday night at 7:30. Xfinity 7:30 Friday as well. About the only news I got, or preview, is the Xfinity Series Dale Jr. is running. That's coming up. Then the other thing to watch out for is how the tire wear works out. Are you bringing back the same tire they had in the spring, where if you ran too hard, they were done in 10 laps? So hopefully we'll get some good action there with tire wear. Hopefully the teams figure out not to make it as bad as it is. So that'll be what to watch there. So hopefully we got through this, and kind of still feel awkward doing this myself, and hopefully we got out of it. That's what I said the last time as well. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and all of that. We'll see you after Bristol.